we go. I do believe we are live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to let go of things. The last few days we've been talking about hopes and dreams, dashed, said hopes and dreams. And now, at the other side of it, we have to take something away from it by letting it go. You know? And that is kind of the vibe I'm feeling today. I woke up with like a sore back. Yesterday I ate and then I ended up doing a bunch of exercise, like a bunch. And amongst those exercises were like 150 crunches. And my core is fine. My core is like, yeah, this is fine. My lower back though is not. And I had to literally spend close to close to 2.5 hours today doing yoga to just not feel like I'm 75 years old. Like to the point of like bending down to pick something up is painful, you know? And I was like, bro, what's your problem? I think I saw Melita here. What a pleasure it is to have you here. Meow. Sending your blessings. What do you need to let go of? Oh, Jovan. Jovan just became a member for 12 months? That's a long time. Where will we be 12 months from now? It's the year 2025. 22nd of July. I can't see that far ahead anymore. Things are changing too fast. I think as closer and closer, predict the future is going to become radically smaller. And it's one of those, who even knows what the world's gonna look like a year from now. I, however, know that I look forward to looking at it with you. Thank you, Giovanni. Sam, we're doing conscious. Your poor ass spine. You only have one of those, dearie. Yeah, I checks out. Checks out my spine like the crunches. And I know crunches aren't really that good. Like even if you wanted good abs, you shouldn't be doing crunches. If you want good abs, you should go to weirdly enough, I think a cable machine, a high-strung cable machine, and then you go on your knees. You can do some padding, and then you hook onto that cable machine, and then you crunch your whole abdomen forward, basically bringing your forehead to the ground. That's the way I used to do it. That's the best way to build ab muscles if you want to. But I do not have access to one of the machines, so I do it the hard way. I need to let go of almost everything. Yeah, now that checks out. That's pretty real. I need to let go of almost everything as well. What do I need to let go of specifically? Weirdly enough, I wanted to say I need to let go of the eggs, but I think I already have. You know, yesterday I was pretty peeved about it, but I think I was also peeved about it because I was hungry in part, so it was like a double whammy. And now that I've been eating food again, I feel pretty calm. I feel pretty calm. I mean, I'm hungry. I'm pretty hungry, and that's something that I'm like eyebrows raised, looking at with concern, kind of vibes on the inside. But other than that, I feel very good. I've been doing extra exercise as well, and it's been nice. I've been inspired by Gobbledygoo to take it a bit more seriously again, and yeah. There's a bunch of internal processes going on up there. Wants. Wants and desires, right? And how we as human beings have the ability to affect said wants and desires. I can show you something that you've never wanted or desired, and then suddenly you do. Right? Is that morally deplorable? No, I don't think so. Right? And it's weirdly enough, I can share it as a fractal that I had just now, and I just got the other message as well. It's not. Maybe I can open my WhatsApp here. So, one of my friends posts something on his WhatsApp status. He posts this. Let me show you. He posted this. Let me up my brightness. This. Right? It's pretty interesting. And like it took me. I was like, It's very low quality as well. It's very low res, but still beautiful. And then I send him a message and I say, this is not something I've seen, but it feels so familiar still. And he goes, it reminds me of Alex Gray's art and sacred geometry. I say, yeah, I love Alex Gray's work. I can see that too. Maybe if Alex Gray was on a lot of mushrooms to the point of fuzziness and locked himself in a room for a day. Seeing a lot of Hindu vibes as well. Thank you for posting cool stuff on your status, bro. And then he says, thanks, my dude. I love posting cool and weird shit from this exact reason. Love exposing people to new things and chatting about shared interests of the strangest kind. Brother Bear, this is how we get to have cool conversations, man. Thank you for blessing the world with you. And thank you for giving the world a chance to bless you back. Love you, bro. Sending you good vibes. Yeah. What a fractal we're in. I was gonna go here, go there, go somewhere with that as a point. The sharing. The sharing of things. The putting ourselves out there to make ourselves available. The letting go. The letting go of something that might be special to you, right? Maybe that work of art was something special to him. And the act of sharing it, the act of posting it to his status for everyone else to see, is, at least in my mind, a certain level of letting go of it. Giving it back to the world. And then because of that letting go of it, the universe gave him something back in turn, right? Maybe it was more than one person. Maybe it was just me that said something. Maybe all of those people that see it will be affected by it. Leg lifts, dog. Those be pretty good for good abs. Also true. You lay with your back on the ground, and then you just lift your legs up. You control that motion. Very good ab workout. Very true. But it's, again, lower abs. And like, even though my lower abs need the most work, I think upper abs are usually the one people are the most obsessed about. Love is true. Let it go. Let it, no, please. Let me go, bro. Sending you blessings, Dr. Sam and Mel and Quack and Melt and more. I've missed y'all this weekend. We've missed you too. This weekend was Jovan's birthday, so everybody be like, happy belated birthday, Jovan, we love you, and whatever. And you were missed, Joe. The picture feels cursed to me for some reason. Yeah, I like stuff like that. It's like, what am I looking at some cursed shit? Am I supposed to be looking at it? Looks like bone, meat, and tendons. Could be, bro. Maybe that's it. That's exactly what bone, meat, and tendons actually look like, and we just have like filters to not see it that way. No? Probably not. Eating cake for breakfast in hopes of making letting go easier. Jovan, happy belated birthday. Bless. I hope it's very clear. I hope it's very, very clear that letting go of your life isn't the intention of today's stream topic. Right? Letting go, in my mind, is a certain surrender into life. right? Letting go of life isn't exactly, I mean, I understand it if you're terminally ill. Maybe there is room for this topic for that person, the person who is dying right now. Maybe they can find value in thinking about the concept of letting go. And technically, all of us are dying. If you want to take that route, don't get coy with me. All of us are dying. But you're not supposed to be dead, right? Until you are. And there are things in this life that you are holding on to that are in fact killing you, right? So I think it's one of those all-encompassing. I like talking about those vague kind of topics. These topics that include so many things that so many of us can relate to. Again, what do I need to let go of? I need to let go of my idea of success. Seems to be the narrative that's popping up in my brain right now. It's like, let go of your idea of success, bro. Seems like that version of me has some wisdom to it, but the version of me that's Max Huberist doesn't want to listen. Nope. I let go of the free time to do a side job, moving a large, heavy china cabinet on my day off. The people paid me, but were so grateful. They bought me a nice large tool pouch as a gift on top of my pay. That's so nice. Bless you, Duck Dad. Thank you for helping. Wait, what? Sean Connery's birthday? I mean, Jovan, happy belated birthday. You must sing it now in the iconic voice of Sean Connery, Duck. That's the only way. And we'll be looking for video evidence in Discord. For various narratives in my head, I need to let go of the outcome. That's a beautiful point you're making, Nancy. I need to let go of the outcome. I think that's maybe what I wanted to say, and I think you said it better. Because what I said is, I need to let go of my idea of success, right? When what I actually meant is what Nancy said, is I need to let go of my idea of what the outcome is supposed to be. I need to let go of the outcomes. That's a hard thing to do, huh, Nancy? Because I feel, again, when it comes to want, when it comes to desire, there is a certain level of control that we believe we have, right? And when it comes to the outcome of our desires and of our wants, we'll allow ourselves to suffer. Because that is my idea of suffering, is when you are in a state of wanting for things to be differently, right? So when you let go of the outcome, you kind of let go, at least on some sort of psychological level. Maybe not on a real level, but on a psychological level, you let go of the ability to suffer, the room to suffer by letting go of the outcome. I don't think it's that easy, unfortunately, Nashi. I think we still have to kind of like nudge the ship. We might not need to steer it. We might just need to nudge it every now and then. Jovan, hope you had a fabu birthday. So much love. Thank you, Nancy. Ideas are the stickiest to get rid of. Ideas. There is this whole scene in the show called Legion. It's a Marvel, I think it's like a Marvel offshoot or canon Marvel universe. And there's a very disgusting scene where they talk about that exactly, Melina, about how ideas are very dangerous in that way. How they can grow and mutate and become something else to keep its room, to keep its place inside your mind. And I've been thinking about that a lot actually as well. So it's thank you for bringing that up into our minds, Melina. This idea that despite being confronted with evidence, despite being confronted with truth, to say it in so many words, the reality of what it is you believe, the situation that it is we're in, people still continue to believe what they want to, for the most part at least. It's very difficult for people to change how they think, what they think. And again, I think of it from a perspective of familiarity. Like, it's not people being inherently evil as much as it's people being inherently lazy. Right? It's kind of hard work checking yourself. It's hard work making sure you're not being biased. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good to know that you're wrong. It's not exactly the average person would spend their time doing to themselves. And then there is this like middle ground of like knowing what is right, but letting go of it because it's not practical right now. Right? And we can think of it from a perspective of technology, material science, finances especially. And a very, very simple example to make is this quote that I like saying, even though it's very scuffed, that goes, "We live in an age where people feed their dogs better than they feed their children." And you're like, surely that's not right, Mel. If you had to, by average, measure the macros of what children eat right now, right? Like the cereal eating, potato chips, candy, Pop-Tarts, oven baked onion bites or pizza bites, like that kind of lifestyle of diet. If you had to total the macros, carbs, fats, proteins that they ate a day, actual dog food is better for you. Like, actually better for you. Macros, on macros, it would be better for you to eat dog food than to eat the average diet that we're eating in our planet right now. Right? And we know this, and we're being faced with the evidence, and then we're letting go of it. Or I don't even know if we're letting go of it as much as we cannot help ourselves on some level as well. Maybe we let go because we can't help ourselves. The monkey getting manipulated kind of vibes, right? Joe, I'll work on it for you. Currently getting kiddo awake. Let's testing those ideas out in different areas and getting the bounce back makes it easier to dissolve the idea. That's true. Hearing how your ideas are received in different spaces can be enlightening. I don't know if it's always good, if it's always beneficial to you and your person, but it's usually enlightening. You learn a lot about yourself and about other people's perception of you. And it is interesting to me to see how, again, I feel like today's stream topic inevitably became a fractal of how do we ignore evidence? Why do we ignore evidence? Why do we let go of the truth for the sake of our comfort? There's a lot of jobs in South Africa in the automotive industry. People basically assembling vehicles. Something like 5% of our GDP comes from that. I think it's 5%. It's a decent chunk. And when I went home last time to be with my family, a conversation was had about electric vehicles. And the conversation again, went something like, they'll never make it to South Africa, they'll never work in South Africa. And then I share with them that Not only will they make it in South Africa, but they will be made in South Africa. And then laughter ensues, right? Oh, no, 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 no. No way will we ever make electric vehicles in South Africa. And I go, it's not a matter of will we ever, it's a matter of we have to. Because by 2035, all combustion engines will be banned in Europe. And something like 75% of the vehicles we assemble is for the European market. So, if we do not change, if we do not pay attention to the evidence, if we do not take up the data that is being presented to us and let go of our old ways, we will be left behind. And I wonder if there's going to be a point at which I reach that level of, is it cynicism? That level of not wanting to believe. Not wanting to let go of the old ways. Am I going to live long enough to embrace new ways? And will I then live long enough for those new ways to become the old ways? How much will I be asked to let go of in my life? That could be a pretty deep question to ask ourselves, huh? A lot. That's probably the answer. You will be asked to let go of a lot. Are you supposed to let go gracefully? Kicking and screaming? Are you supposed to hold on angrily? Fight your fists bloody? Are you supposed to let go as a sign of trust? That there's more good to come? Are you supposed to let go as a type of surrender? In hopes of something else again? Letting go. I'll let go of this narrative in a moment. Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are bad for you. People feed their dogs better than they feed their children. My dogs will eat cat poop. Thank me for the opportunity. Kids scream and shout. Cause ruckus. I'm so glad I turned into this episode of Guy Without Kids Talks About Having Kids. Bruh, whether you believe me or not, these are literal statistics, right? I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I'm sorry, now I'm being a little bit derogatory, but I feel challenged, so I'm putting it down. All right, these are actual stats. We actually live in a world where people feed their dogs better than their children. No, that's real, dude. Not every person. I'm not saying every parent. And there are people that don't feed their dogs properly as well, dude. So it's not like a definite, this is how it is. I'm talking about the statistics, right? If you had to pull bar charts, right? And you had to pull in those bar chart macros, the macros in the bar chart of the dogs would be better than the bar chart of the children. That's just how it is right now, dude. Because again, there's a standardized food making system. There's an understanding that this body and all bodies need a certain balance of nutrients every day in order to survive. And if you feed your dog food and it dies of eating that food, that company is probably not going to sell a lot of dog food. All right. So they've had to perfect like a science, getting that little kibble piece, the right macros for your dog to continue existing. right? Some people feed their dog the same dog food for a decade. Dog keeps living for it, right? It's like, yeah, this is all I need. And yet, we do not have that kind of equivalent when it comes to our human meals. We eat a pretty diverse range of foods. And a part of that diversity is also like a seeking of completed macronutrients. We're trying to get the full spectrum of it. We let go since there's an additional illusion that takes place of priority. I think I'm missing context. We let go since there's an additional illusion that takes the place of priority. Processed food has been made to be, in the words of the companies, hyper palatable, really tasty, of course. Little dopamine fiends are going to want the hyper tasty thing. Yeah, of course they're gonna want that, alright? If children knew meth existed, they're gonna want meth as well. That doesn't mean now we should start giving our kids meth, you know? Oh, but they want it. The little dopamine fiends want dopamine, which is meth, right? They want it. No. No. Why do we, like, again, if you fed your dog a bunch of sugar, it would die. It would actually die, right? And we don't do that. Your dog might, certain dogs might have a palate for it. I don't think they can taste sweet, but maybe you have cream whipped up of a bunch of sugar. Your dog will keep eating that cream and sugar. Yum, 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 tastes like fat. Until it dies. Right? But we don't let our dogs do that because we're responsible adults. And we realize this dog doesn't know better. Like a child doesn't know better. It's not that I don't believe you, but you have a very convenient way about leaving all of the idiosyncrasies of real world life out of the situation. No, I'm not trying to leave anything out. I'm trying to give you room to fill things in, right? And that's literally what you're doing, like that. That's the point of the stream. I get to speak vaguely so that I don't hyper specify the topic, right? I try and specify some topic. Today's topic was letting go. We've all had different lives. We've all had to let go of different things, right? And yet this concept of letting go is something that we can relate with. Now I'm talking about how we feed our dogs and our children, right? I've had different dogs. I haven't had any children, right? But I have, in my having of different dogs, fed my dogs different foods over the years, right? So I'm purely talking from a perspective here, opening a bandwidth of conversation. And then your mind populates that bandwidth, right, with your life experience. That's what conversation is. I'm not trying to leave out idiosyncrasies. I acknowledge at the same time that there are people that feed their kids super well, all right? And there are people that feed their dogs super poorly. Those are also truths. But for the point I'm trying to make right now, taking a stop and be like, doesn't seem like exactly the direction we need to be going in. I ate dog food as a kid. I also ate dog food as a kid, but more as like a dare, like a you wouldn't eat dog food, and me being like, I ate dog food as a kid, so I'll be the statistical outlier. I love you, Sean. That's awesome. Are you supposed to let go as a type of surrender? What I know is that as an American, I am conditioned to reject uncomfortable changes to my last breath. Yeah, that seems very rigid, Sam. Seems very, very rigid. Seems very, very getting snapped. Right? Something that resists change. If you had to make a little bar or a little cylinder out of something that by its nature resists change. And then you had to apply some strain onto that little thing. Because it's nature, because it's, what's the word you use? It's conditioning, makes it resistant to change. Once it reaches a certain point, it's going to snap in half because it cannot handle change. Where if you take something that is a little bit more pliable, a little bit more malleable, a little bit more soft, considerate, accepting, add your words here, and you make a little bar out of it. Now suddenly, when you apply a strain, it just bends. It just goes a little gooey, right? And after it's gone through all of its wiggles and woogles, it's still in one piece, right? And we're gonna go through some wiggles and woogles, Sam. A bunch of them. And if you are rigid, you will break. And this is not me being like threatening you. This is me being like, heed caution. Heed caution. Being rigid, no helpful. Being rigid, make break. Vegas? Are we talking Vegas? Talking about the vagus nerve? I'm so confused, but I like it nonetheless. Stats, tell a story you want them to. Stats don't leave out real world applications. Why is this way? How do I get to be this way? What could reasons be? Yeah, but again, depending on where you are, depending on your individual life, every single one of those answers are going to be differently. So I can go into the minutia of talking about your whys, whats, and whens, and then Melidas, and then Giovans, and then Nanshis, and on. Or I can keep it vague and you're the one that gets to answer all of those questions for yourself. And I feel, on a personal level, me giving answers isn't exactly satisfying, right? I find personally, when I've been exposed to an idea, to a feeling, to a concept, and it stays with me throughout my day, and I reach a point of like connection where the experiences I've been through and what I'm going through and what I'm thinking about suddenly end up in the synchronous space of like going up a level of understanding, right? Like the aha moment. That is very satisfying to me. And it's very hard to recreate that experience, but I have tried to share that with you friends, right? As much as I can. Like again, the aha moment with with the information I shared is, geez, we probably need to take better care of ourselves. Right? That's the takeaway. That is the takeaway. Because again, it's so easy to just give the little dopamine goblins what they want. Tats, tell a story you want them to. I love these hot ass takes, Doug. That's exactly right. Uh, yeah, you can manipulate data. You can. But again, right? You literally have food in your grocery store because of statistics. There wouldn't be any food in your grocery store if not for statistics. So the stats don't only tell the story you want them to. The stats are real. Alright. The stats are very real and they can be tracked. That seems very rigid, Sam. Yeah, it'd be that all the rest of the universe has to do it. All the rest of the universe has to do is comply. It is so simple. I'm not the one being difficult. All of creation is. Even though a part of me resonates with that level of hubris, Sam, like I really do, like I get it. I'm like that, but on the side of like the universe, right? The universe is change, literally, by design. That's all it does. It changes non-stop. Have you noticed? You were paying attention? It's just always change. And then there is this version of you that is here for that, that's aware. Right? And that version doesn't change. It's just always that awareness. The feelings, the thoughts, the body that thing is in, all of that changes. But the thing that is aware, that is here for this experience, doesn't. Right? And that part is kind of rigid. It is, Sam, and I get the identification with that. Right? I identify with that masculine part of myself as well. But that unchanged part of me, the rigid part of me, is the part of me that shows up every day. Right? That I am unwilling to change. That I am very rigid on. I am like, this hour in my day, I have dedicated to spending with my friends, to sharing my soul, my person with the world, right? That is what this hour is for. And that part of me, that rigid part of me, has limited my ability to this world. I don't think it has stunted my ability, but it has limited my ability. And due to these limitations, I have made changes. I have had to let go. I have had to let go of a great many things. And I don't feel like I have lost. Like maybe that could be a cool point to make as well, that you're not technically losing anything in letting go. Because again, it was never yours at the first. That thought, that idea, nothing is yours. Uncle Becky shared this line in one of his streams, and it's been resonating with me ever since, where he goes, nothing is yours, everything is borrowed. Even this breath that you're going to take next, you have to give back. Right? Nothing is yours. So letting go is not a loss. The masculine needs to love the change. That rigid part of you needs to love the change, right? Instead of hating it. Because it's the exact same thing, Sam. It's just a misrepresentation of the polarities. Love the change. Be like, wow, change. What a difference it makes. Literally. Okay. No. Wiggles and woggles. Love is truth. I gotta go and do stuff before work. Later, taters. Love you, Nancy. Love that quote. It is beautiful. It is very beautiful. It's a good reminder to have. Every breath I take, I get to give back. Change is the only constant. I really like, and I don't know if I came up with that quote, but it feels so coy. But it's just that fractal of like change. What a difference it makes. Right? Because literally, as soon as you notice a difference, you go, something changed. Something changed. Something's different because it got changed. How much change will there come to my country? How much change will there come to the world? How much change will there come to our internet? How much change will there come to our relationships? How much change will there come to our way of interfacing with our computers? How much change will there be in food? How much change in our ability to let go? I don't know if there will be, right? Like, I think a lot will change in the future, but I think letting go is gonna remain hard. And I think that's what Sam was kind of saying as well, right? That this fractal of change, of letting go, is something that she, as an American, has been conditioned to reject. Like, no, not let go. Must hold on to this thing. Make rigid, make solid, make stay forever. Make stay forever. Forever to most people is like 1,000 years. That's why I want to live at least 1,000 years. I want to live what most people thought was forever for the longest time, right? And I know, melt forever is not 1,000 years. I know that. What I'm saying is, if you had to, if someone had to, for all of history, kind of like proclaim that they were remembered forever, right? That their influence was felt forever. Their imagination would be kept only to about 1,000 years of influence, right? And even that would be, I think, a little bit generous. Maybe 100 years, but like living 1,000 years would feel like a forever. Literally dealing with letting go today. How about that, Keval? It's nice to embrace you in this moment, bro. Do you want to share what you're letting go of? Ozymandias and Melt is one statue. Ozymandias. Hey, Google. Who's Ozymandias? I remember the name, but my mind... Oh, goodness. The first reference is Ramses II, who was an Egyptian pharaoh. In fact, believed to be the pharaoh involved in Moses' exodus. He was later defeated by the 12 tribes of Israel and used the throne name Ozymandias. Still a very sickest name. Hugs, yes, bless you, bro. Jovan is here. Sending you love, dude. I'm going to embrace. Oh, you're gonna have a trip. I always have a trip, dude. Life is a trip. My sober state seems to be in some ways more trippy than my psychedelic experiences. Like unironically. There's a great poem about him. I connected it to your desire to live 1,000 years. His poem was all about one's legacy. Maybe, did you write the poem? There's a great poem about him. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna use a language model. My friend just told me about a poem about Ozymandias, about leaving a legacy. He says it's very good. Would you be able to find it on the internet for me? Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Is it that one? Ozymandias went toe to toe against the OT. Take no shit, God, and get rewarded for it. Take notes. Don't fucking do what he did. Yeah, he was like getting getting it from every side, and he just kind of like didn't want to let go. Literally, didn't want to let go, huh? How about that, Sam? Oh, you're talking about that short poem? My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. However, around the fallen statue nothing remains but the vast empty desert, symbolizing the transience of human achievements and the hubris of those who believe their legacy will last forever. Right? You're lucky if your legacy lasts 1,000 years, right? Like, and again, that's the forever fractal I'm talking about. I don't. I don't have that hubris of like, I need to be remembered 1,000 years after I'm dead. I just want to live 1,000 years. To experience how long they wanted to be remembered for. Right? To see how much the world changes and how stupid of a want that is, actually. Right? That's the fractal that I want to see. I think that might be it. And what I'm dealing with is letting go of people who aren't in my life anymore. Focusing on the here and now and what I'm doing. I feel you on that. I do feel you on that, Kevo. I've had to let go of the same, bro. Letting go of support, I feel is one of the hardest things that I've needed to do. Because like I take support very seriously, right? Support is something very personal to me. If you support me, I will die for you. Literally, right? Like that's kind of the soul I have. And if you don't, if you used to and you stop, right? It feels like a betrayal. That, makes me worry that I won't allow it again. And then there's like this whole process of letting go of that narrative, as well. It is a whole process, bro. Sober feels more trippy than trippy, same, bro. But I am high a lot, so I get you, bro. Read it and have fun. Will you even remember yourself by the end of the 1,000 years? That would be the cool question. Absolutely not, right? That's why I'm streaming every day for the next 1,000 years. Because I won't remember who I was. And then I'll get to look. I'll get to see myself now. Then. Hey me. Hope you're doing well, bro. I'm dealing with a bunch of insecurities, as you do. I'm dealing with worries of the future. I'm worried about you. Are you doing good? You fine? Yeah, you fine, bro. You're smart. You got this. I hope the next 1,000 years goes well, dude. Don't let go. Feel like I just cursed myself a little bit. Shit, I'm sorry, bro. But yeah, don't let go. Can't let go yet. There's more to do still. It's an Egyptian thing to be remembered by the living is to live in the afterlife. Hatshepsut's likeness, her name, her legacy was wiped clean from Egypt by her successor because they despised her and wanted to make sure that even in death she could not enter the field of reeds. Yeah, see, bro. To be disliked that much. Is it some petty bullshit or was she just that unlikable? I would love to like see that as a drama, right? Imagine that as a TV show. Seeing her life unfold. What did she have to do? What did she have to do to be hated that much? Alright. I'm gonna pull a card. That's close enough for me to see it, I realized. In my It's good to remember that holding on doesn't do justice to you or that person. So just focus on life. There's always a part of us that will crave what once was. Card time. I don't think for me it's like a craving of what once was kind of thing. It's more for me a fractal of like loyalty. It's like, I've shown you nothing but loyalty, literally, day by day, relentlessly, for years. All right? And that's the part that I need to let go of. I need to let go of, again, my idea of the outcomes, my infinite loyalty will have. Because not everybody will value you as much as you're worth. Right? And that's no fault of yours. Never is fault of yours that people do not value you what you're worth. The star tetrahedron. Is it just some petty bullshit? Yeah, because she was a woman who was a progressive, who had a progressive social agenda. They fucking hated her. That sucks. I hope it's more nuanced than that. If it's some petty bullshit like that, even back then. I mean, it makes even more sense back then. And if you have to look at what's going on right now, kind of checks out. So, yeah. Now suddenly, that TV show, she's gonna bum me out. They're like, man, these people's brains are very stupid. One more time. Star tetrahedron. Card number 12. Vehicle. Merkaba. This important three-dimensional shape in sacred geometry results from the interpenetration of two tetrahedrons. One, upward facing, male. One, downward facing, female. Together, they form the beautiful configuration called the star tetrahedron, or Merkaba. The Merkaba is believed to be an instrument of expanded awareness, a space-time vehicle for multidimensional travel, and a path towards ascension. Choosing this card connects you with aspects of your being that stretch beyond everyday life and promise to support your understanding of evolving consciousness and universal wisdom. You may want to employ this image to help balance your male and female aspects, your change and your lack of change, your rigid body and your flowing body. All right. You might decide to construct your own star tetrahedron and embellish it with personal symbols. You may wish to learn one of the breathing meditations that are widely available to help you experience the Merkaba as an interdimensional vehicle. Any way you decide to apply this energy, regard it as a powerful model for the manifestation of dynamic balance and the evolution of vision. The way I'm interpreting this is that there is going to be a certain level of expectation of me to let go of my identification with a certain polarity. And I was trying to say that in today's stream, in part, right? Me mentioning the identification with the masculine, but the love of the feminine, the love of the change, right? Instead of it being like I am unchanged and I will never change and I will never love the change and the change should never come, right? The one is like a very polarized space to be in, and the other is a more unionized, right? Those two triangles spinning. And how maybe being in that state will help me bring the visions that I have to fruition a little bit more. I want to say dynamically, but the word I want to use is with balance. Because I don't think it's enough for women to be in power, Sam. I think men have to soften their hearts as well. Men have to love, to be very cliche about it. Men have to learn how to love. Have to taught not to love, right? Have to be taught that loving is not something to be ashamed of. And this sounds kind of cliche, but I am kind of serious about it as well. Like just even being excited about things, is not something that is seen as attractive in a man. But yeah, we learn. We learn from our mistakes, and hopefully we don't continue making them as we go forward into our collective futures. I'm going to say goodbye to you, friends. Let me do so. Can you write us a Shan message about letting go? Have the mostest magnificent day, everyone. I wholeheartedly love you all so profoundly and tenderly, luminously and joyously, enchantingly, marvelously, staggeringly, dazzlingly, overwhelmingly, Mel. And all of you, oh so enchanting and inspiring, compassionate and uplifting, thoughtful and understanding, amazingly kind, radiant, extraordinary friends who embrace the freedom that comes with letting go. Thank you, friends, for being free with me once again. You had the freedom to be anywhere, and you chose to be here with me. I don't take that for granted. I love you. I bless you. I bless you so much. I bless you again. Just imagining just like absolute stacks of gold dropping in your bank account. Mel, gold do not come in stacks. Yours do, okay? That's how much there is of them. Love is true. I'll see you friends again soon.